And it is Felix Rosenqvist. He is out of the car. The car's back in the garage. So wasn't the same issue that Pato was dealing with this morning, but what was it ultimately that put you out?
Yeah, I don't know. I came out of turn 2, and it kind of felt like I was in the pit limit there. It was just kind of like... And then it got going again after I pulled the clutch for some reason, and then ended the straight. It just completely lost drive. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I had to look into it. It's just unfortunate. We had a really good run. I mean, I feel for all our McLaren SP guys that worked so hard this week. I think we had a mega weekend going. We were off strategy on the black tires, and we actually managed to move up from 4th to 3rd. So yeah, it's big loss for us today.
Yeah, I mean, I know the disappointment is real with as good as you guys were, but to do it so early too, to have it go out so early, that's equally as frustrating, isn't it?
It is. I mean, you never know what would have happened later on, but I just felt like we were sailing out there, and yeah, I think anyways we showed that again that we're up there and we were fighting for podium positions, and we just have to come back and do it all again.
Thank you, Felix.
Pato O'Ward, we heard the trouble all day long with power. Do you know ultimately what the issue was with the car that made you retire?
Apparently it was something fuel delivery wise. I mean, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and then it just failed. Yeah, it's a bummer, man. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because we've thrown away, I think, an easy podium for us there. We had a lot of pace. We've had a lot of pace during the weekend. The car was really well put together for qualifying, and I've tried to do my job the best I can, and I don't want to pull on any horns and say what was the issue, right? But I think we all saw what went on there.
Well, now how helpless is that feeling? It's not like it just went away and the race is over. You're out there still trying to do something, wounded.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to switch through the emergency modes and different maps. It started really falling off in the maps that actually give you power, and then on the other ones that help you save fuel, it was kind of wanting to stay in there, and then it started failing on those two, and there was, I mean, I couldn't even get to 6th gear, and you're pretty much helpless through there, man. Yeah.
Thanks, Pato.
Well, Kyle Kirkwood has been checked and released from the infield care center. So what happened?
I'm not really too sure. I got to go back through it, but wasn't the same as Detroit. Detroit, Reds caught me out, and car went sideways on me. But here I already did a lap, and I figured the pressures were up. Grip felt like it was there. It just hit turn 8. It bottomed out right in the middle of the corner and set the car sailing. The nature of the track is kind of increasing radius through that section. So unfortunately for the 14 AJ Foyt crew, we didn't get the finish that we thought we deserved. We were doing solid this weekend, so we were right there in the top 10, fighting for 7th, 8th, 9th, really. Definitely disappointing, but we'll come back stronger.
Thanks, Kyle.
Actually, Ricardo Juncos, the team owner, at one point thought might be able to go back out. He wasn't sure what it was, but unfortunately doesn't look very optimistic.
No, it was on fire, so it was pretty broken.
It was going well. You'd been good, strong all weekend, still running around the top 10. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we struggled a bit on the reds on the first stint, but when we put the blacks on, we were really quick. Jumped Malukas in the pit stop, and yeah, it was looking good, but unfortunately, the world doesn't work out as you want it to.
Thanks, Cal. The Indianapolis 500, and Scott McLaughlin now is a 2-time winner in the NTT IndyCar Series, and Mom and Dad are here today. How special is that?
Yeah, amazing. I really wanted to get a win here with Mum and Dad, and our first time with Odyssey battery on the car, and it was awesome as well to have them on board, but to have Mum and Dad here was super special. And America's weekend, last night I was dressed up as a blow-up eagle, so maybe I need to do that every July 4th weekend.
Yeah, you love America. Now you're a winner on 4th of July weekend, so it's one thing to get to the front. How challenging it was to stay up there with some hungry drivers right behind you.
It was tough, and you're thinking about fuel, but thankfully, obviously, Chevy gave us the great fuel mileage and drivability off the restarts that allowed me to get a little bit of a gap from Palou and the Honda there. So I'm really proud of the guys, the car they gave me. It was a little hard to drive towards the end. I would have loved to make it a little bit easier for myself, but yeah, super proud of everyone. Great pit stops from the car 3 team. 33s, baby. We're going to the moon.
Congratulations. Scott McLaughlin wins again in IndyCar. They said yesterday, no problem, I'm starting 7th. I can still get to the podium. You did that and won better. Almost a win. How do you take away from this race?
Almost, man. It was so close. Yeah, it was amazing. Amazing to see all the fans. The atmosphere was amazing today. And our number 10 NTT Data Honda car was fast. We just missed it by this much again today. But yeah, super proud. We recovered. Amazing strategy by the team. Amazing pit stops by my crew. And yeah, we had 2 or 3 moments like that, but we couldn't really make it. So super happy. Back on the podium and regroup and get ready for Toronto.
So are decisions like that we just saw, where maybe you could have gone for it, but you survived to get to another corner, is that how championships are won, by taking what's available?
I don't know, man. I don't think I was good enough to pass him. I wish I would have gone for it, but it was not. I didn't see that it was clear to do it, at least safe or clean. So it was not the day to do it.
Good run. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Alex Palou. Back to Dylan.
And Will Power with possibly the drive of the day here. Went to the very back to 27th at one point and ended up 3rd. So you had a car that probably could have won this race, but you went that far forward. How do you evaluate this day?
Amazing day for the Verizon 5G Chevy. I mean, yeah, I said in a strategy meeting, which I have a few times this year, we've qualified badly, a top 10 would be great. So and that yellow when we were 12th, so okay, this is pretty good. I think we can get in the top 10 here, but some good restarts, some good exchanges, good pit stops, good strategy, and yeah, great job by the team. Over the moon, loving it, man. Loving these. Starting at the back is certainly more entertaining than leading from the front. So, but we've got to get on top of the qualifying. Obviously, this weekend it wasn't a pace issue at all. It was just a bit of a miscommunication. So, yeah, stoked. Can't thank Verizon Chevy enough, man. I mean, we're having such a great year.
Well, as many times as you've had to do this year, if it happens again, I mean, does runs like this, do they give you reassurance, confidence that, okay, if things don't go well, we still have the pace and can make our way forward?
You just got to keep your head in these races. As you see every week, so much happens, and if you don't make any mistakes, you're just even if you don't pass anyone, you're going to make up positions. So just got to be smart, and you know, this is IndyCar race, and you can never ever predict what's going to happen. Even in qualifying, who would have predicted that qualifying session? So loving it, and I hope the fans are too, because I don't think there's any series in the world like it.
No, that is for sure. He is the hard charger once again. Will Power officially goes from 21st to 3rd. Kevin.
Rinus VeeKay doesn't make up that many spots, but still awfully good from the way it looked in qualifying, starting 11th, getting up to 4th. You raced with Will Power pretty well. Tell me about that and the rest of your day.
Yeah, we had a great race. Did not expect top 4. Really, before the race, I said top 8s. That's what I need. That's what I'm going to be happy with. Yeah, that racing with Will was nice, but he did not leave me enough space on entry of turn 4. He really pushed me in the grass there, and well, you know, if I didn't look good enough on my tires, I would have spun. So I think you got to leave a bit more space when racing, but he didn't get a penalty. So well, when you don't get a penalty, it's a good move. But yeah, he did a great race. Did not expect to see him in my mirrors at the restart. But yeah, team 21 pit now car, really great job at the pit stops, and I'm happy to be back in the top 4, top 5. That's what I needed at the moment. So I'm yeah, this is for me like a perfect race. I think at the end I couldn't have left Will behind me anyway.
And with a 4th place finish, I'm going to guess, guys, the Top Gun stash is here to stay for a few more weeks. We'll see that in Canada.
Hey, whatever works, right? That's his best finish since his podium at Barber Motorsports Park earlier this. Boy, it was a wild race for the Andretti crew. There's Romain Grosjean. He's heading back to the hauler. And we can hear from one of the Andretti drivers. Here's Alexander Rossi with Dylan.
Yeah, so he is standing by here. What are your thoughts? What's your take on the contact with we'll start with Romain.
Yeah, it was just a racing incident. You know, he was on the softer tire and probably was going to get around me, and he likes to do it fast and early. But yeah, had some understeer there, and obviously that's unfortunate to happen to a teammate, but it's the way it goes.
Do you race any of your teammates differently based on your status for next year? Does that matter?
No, of course not. We're teammates. We're driving for Andretti Autosport and trying to get the best result possible.
Thank you, Alex. And Scott Dixon rounds out the top 5. Kind of a quiet, low-key weekend for you guys, but how would you evaluate your top 5 run today?
Yeah, I think the PNC bag number 9 had good pace. It was just a frustrating day. You know, the race control kind of yellow happens, but now they're waiting. Like, that's something new, you know, which for us put us in a tricky situation. You know, had the caution gone when it should have, you know, I think we would have come out in the front because we pitted at the perfect time. And then we were just paired at the wrong place. You know, after that caution, we were on blacks. Everybody around us was on reds. And then, you know, later in the race we were on news reds and everybody's on new reds. So just it was tough to hold position to try and, you know, maintain what we had just because we were kind of mismatched there a little bit. Kudos to the team, did a tremendous job, but yeah, just it favoured if you kind of pitted short today, and unfortunately we weren't doing that.
Well, in that instance, what can be done? Is it something where it's just call the yellow when it happens, or what do you think needs to be done there?
Well, that's typically how we race. You know, today I would say we look like an IMSA race. I think race control needs to work out where they want to be, and I'm fine with that as long as it's consistent. I think that's all that anybody asks. So yeah, just a bit of a frustrating day, but congrats to McLaughlin. Drove a hell of a race there, and you know, good points day for all of our cars, and hopefully we can have a good smooth run at Toronto.
Thank you, Scott. Top 5 and 5th place finish today for the 9 team. Kevin?
And his teammate Marcus Ericsson goes from 13th to 6th, still the championship leader, plus 20. I think all things considered, would you consider this successful?
Yeah, it was a perfect day for us, you know, considering where we started. We were obviously disappointed yesterday with qualifying. We felt like we had a lot more speed than that, and this place is hard to overtake, especially when we are on similar pace. So I think we had a very clear plan before the race, starting on the primary tires. We wanted to go long on the first stint and then do 2 shorter stints on the reds and be more aggressive in the second half of the race. And I think we did that really well. That overcut on the first stop, you know, jumped us from 13th, 14th to P8, and then picked up a few more positions. So, you know, we had the goal to be P5 to P8, somewhere between there would have been a really good day for us, and P6 is obviously really, really good.
I know the mission every race is to win, but when you are the championship leader, does that change the mindset throughout a race weekend, and especially in a race when you're not starting in the front couple of rows?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're at the point now, you know, halfway points. You cannot think too much about the championship, but you have to have that in the back of your head. And I think in the end there, you know, Scott was on used reds and I was on new reds, and I felt like I had more pace than him and was putting the pressure on. But at the same time, Joseph was right behind me, and obviously he's quite close in the championship, so I didn't want to risk too much to sort of give him the chance to attack on me. So there was some, you know, a moment there in the last 10-15 laps that I was sort of looking if Scott was going to make a mistake, which he never does, but make sure that Joseph couldn't get a chance to attack on me.
Thanks, Marcus. The Indy 500 winner, Marcus Ericsson, remains the championship leader.
And Kev, that's a very valid point, because no driver has led the championship after 3 different races. Marcus Ericsson is the first to do that this year.
I feel like we have a lot to talk about with this kid. Impressive weekend, so strong. Highest finishing rookie, 9th today for David. Your first top 10. I know you maybe felt like you could have gotten a little better there, a better result. Why? Tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, you know, at the start we were at the pace with all the leaders there, and we were right behind Palou, and I mean that yellow came out and it was just super bad timing, and then the second yellow came out and again it was just really bad timing. So overall, I mean, it was really good. The red tire pace for us was ended up being the surprising factor, because we thought primaries were going to be the one, and we went out in primaries and was not good. So we went back on the alternates, and yeah, it was. I mean, it was all around very good. I think from our end, it was everything we could have done. And at the end, I had a good battle with the veterans going inside and outside of Pagano. So I had a blast.
Yeah, really productive weekend for sure. And his first career top 10, 9th today for David Malukas, Kevin.
And